Welcome back to Bright Minds. From this week, every Friday, we are going to start something new. We will take the most important events of the week and understand them in very simple English. Because current affairs is not just about memorizing 50 headlines. So the real question is, what happened, why did it happen, and why should we care? So today let's look some of the important developments. Let's begin. The first one, let me start with this something you probably use almost every day. UPI. You buy something for 100 rupees, you scan a QR code and payment is done. Simple, right? But recently an important question came up. Can UPI transaction has a charge in the future? This is connected to something called MDR, Merchant Discount Rate. In simple word, MDR is a fee charges on certain digital transactions. A parliamentary panel has recommended calibrate MDR for some high-value merchant transactions. But here is some important part. This doesn't mean that you'll suddenly start paying a charge every time you use UPI. The government has clarified that ordinary customers will not be charged for making UPI payments. A person-to-person transaction will remain free. If MDR is introduced, it should be aimed at a limited set of merchant transactions above a certain threshold. So why is this debate happening? Because UPI is enormous. It has grown into one of the main pillars of India's digital payment system. But maintaining such a huge system also costs money. So the real question is, how do we keep UPI affordable for people while also making the system financially sustainable? That's a big issue. Remember, UPI digital payment, that is for MDR, and customer remains free. Now, let's move from digital India to greenery environment. India has attached an important milestone. The country has crossed 300 GW of installed non-fossil fuel power capacity. Now, what does non-fossil means? Basically, electricity capacity that does not depend on traditional fossil fuels like coal, oil, or gas. These include sources such as solar, wind, hydro, nuclear, and other non-fossil sources. Why is this important? Because India needs more and more electricity as the economic growth. At the same time, we also need to reduce dependency on fossil fuel. So this is not just an electricity story. It is connected with energy security plus climate changes plus economic development. And remember one simple point. India is not trying to stop development. The change is to develop while gradually moving towards cleaner energy. The government announced that 300 gigawatt non-fossil capacity milestone on 9th August 2026. Remember, 300 GW, non-fossil power, that is renewable plus nuclear plus energy transactions. And the third one, now let's talk about defense. India and the United States are conducting a specialized naval exercise at Kochi. This isn't just a normal naval exercise. The focus on explosive ordnance disposal or EOD. Now what does that mean? Imagine a dangerous explosive device is found underwater, maybe near a ship or a port or a naval area. Someone has to identify it and safely remove or neutralize it. That's where EOD team come in. The exercise gives Indian and American team an opportunity to train together and improve their ability to handle such threats. And why does this matter? Because maritime security isn't only about protecting ships. It's also about protecting ports, trade routes, and people working at sea. The Indian Navy, US Navy EOD exercise begins at the Southern Naval Command in Kochi during this week. Remember, India plus US, that is Navy, is in Kochi EOD, Maritime Security. And the fourth one, now there is a country you may have heard about many times, Mauritius. But why does Mauritius appears in India's current affair? Let's look at the map. Mauritius is an island country in the Indian Ocean. And the Indian Ocean is extremely important for India. A huge amount of India's international trade moves through the sea. So countries in these regions matters for maritime security, trade, disaster response, and regional cooperation. This week, the Chief of the Naval Staff visited one bilateral maritime corporations. So this is more important just a diplomatic visit. This is a part of India's wider effort to strengthen cooperations with countries in the Indian Ocean region. And this is a good geographical point to remember. When you hear Mauritius, think that is Indian Ocean plus maritime security plus religious cooperation. This visit was scheduled from 10th to 13th August 2026. And the fifth one, now let's go back to 7th century. Do you know what is celebrated on this day in India? National Handloom Day. But why 7th August? This day has connections with India's freedom struggles. On 7th August 1905, Swadeshi movement formally launched at the major gathering in Kolkata. The movement encouraged people to use Indian-made goods and supports indigenous products. And that's why handlooms is much more than clothes. When you see a handloom sarees or traditional textiles, you will always see Indian culture, traditional silks, and people's livelihoods. The government also highlighted the huge role of women in the handloom sectors. So National Handlooms Day connected three things: history plus culture plus economy. And that's exactly why this topic is important for current affairs. Remember, 7th August, Swadeshi movement. That is handloom in Indian heritage. Now let's move to the sixth topic. That is something we all depend on: electricity. Now switch on a fan, charge our phones, run business, use computers. Everything depends on electricity. But have you ever wondered who actually delivers electricity to your home? This is where Bescom come in. Bescom means distribution company. They are reasonable for distributing electricity to customers. This week, the government discussed the need to balance financial sustainability and affordability in the electricity sectors, along with the digitalization of Bescom. Why is this important? Because electricity has to be affordable for customers. But at the same time, power distribution companies need to remain financially healthy. If Bescom faces serious financial problems, it can affect the entire electricity system. So remember, electricity, that is Bescom, distributing financial sustainability. Now let's talk about farmers, the seventh topic. India is moving towards making agriculture more digital. One important initiative is AgriStack. Now don't let the name scare you. The basic idea is simple. Just like we use digital systems for banking and payments, the government is building digital infrastructure for agriculture. It can help create betterments, agriculture database, and improve delivery of services and schemes. This week, the government highlighted the implementation of AgriStack and the Digital Agriculture Mission. Why is this important? Because if government services help better, more accurate information, this can become easier to identify farmers, delivery benefits, provide agricultural services, and improve decision making. But whether we talk about digital agriculture, there is also an important concern: data privacy and the protection of farmers' information. So digitalizations can create opportunity, but it must also be responsible. Remember, AgriStack, that is digital agriculture, better services, farmer data. We'll move to the eighth topic. We are going to talk about the students. Imagine a student is eligible for a scholarship, but didn't even know which scholarship is available. Or imagine have to visit different places to apply for different schemes. That's where a central digital platform can help. This week, the government highlighted the National Scholarship Portal. The idea is to provide a simple digital platform through which students can access and apply for different scholarship schemes. Why is this important? Because education support should reach the students who actually needs it. Digital platforms can make the process more organized and transparent. But again, technology alone is not enough. Students also need awareness plus easy access plus proper verifications. So this is a good example of how digital government can directly affect people's living. And remember, National Scholarship Portal, that is for students, scholarships, and it is digital governance. Now let's take a break from technology and government schemes. Let's talk about elephants. 12th August is World Elephants Day, and this year, India held national celebrations in Vishakhapatnam. Why is elephant matter so much? Because elephants are not just larger animals. They play an important role in the ecosystem. While moving through forest, they can help spread seeds and influence vegetations. But elephants also faces problems such as habitat loss, human-elephant conflicts, and fragmentations of forests. So elephant conservation is not simple about protecting one animal. It is about protecting the ecosystem in which both wildlife and people live. India has one of the world's important elephant populations, so conservation is particularly significant for us. And remember, 12th August, that is World Elephant Day. Elephant conservation and human-wildlife conflicts. 2026 national celebrations were held in Vishakhapatnam, and the government also presented Gaj Gaurav Awards for contribution to elephant conservations. Now let's talk about something completely different. The sky. On 12th August 2026, a total solar eclipse took place. But what exactly is this solar eclipse? That's actually simple. The moon comes between the sun and earth. If the moon completely covers the sun for observers in the path of totally, we see a total solar eclipse. And during totality, the sun's outer atmosphere called the corona can become visible. NASA says the 12th August eclipse crosses areas including Greenland, Iceland, northern Russia, the Atlantic, Spain, and small part of the Portugal. And here is an important point for Indian viewers. This total solar eclipse is not visible from India. So, if you saw videos for people watching the eclipse online, they were probably watching for locations along the path of the eclipse. And one easy thing to remember, solar eclipse, that is moon between sun and earth. Remember, 12th August 2026, total solar eclipse, moon between sun and earth, not visible from India. Let's finish our main topic with the economy. India's exports are another important thing to watch. According to government data, India's combined merchandise and services exports during April-July 2026 to 2027 were estimated at around 316.42 billion US dollar. That compares with about US $279.63 billion during the same period of the previous financial years. That's an estimated growth of 13.16%. Now, why does this matter? When India exports goods and services to other countries, India earns foreign exchange. Exports can supply business, employments, economic growth, and India's positions in global trade. But we should also remember that exports can change depending on global demands, commodity prices, exchange rates, and international conditions. So don't just remember the number. Understand the bigger picture. Exports are one important part of India's economic growth story. So let's do a quick revision. Let's see how much you remember. UPI, that is MDR debit. But ordinary users cannot become charges for UPI payments. 300 gigawatt. That is, India crosses 300 gigawatt of non-fossil power capacity. The next one, Kochi. India-US Naval EOD exercise. Mauritius. Indian Oceans Maritime Cooperation. And the next one, 7th August. That is National Handloom Day, linked to the Swadeshi movement. And what is BESCOM? Electricity distribution companies. AgriStack, that is digital infrastructure for agriculture. National Scholarship Portal, that is digital access to scholarship schemes. Next, 12th August, World's Elephant Day and the total solar eclipse. And finally, exports. India's April to July 2026 to 2027 exports of goods and services were estimated at about $316.42 billion. If you remember even half of this, that's your weekly current affairs from 7th to 13th August 2026. And remember, Current affairs is not about memorizing the newspapers. It's about understanding the story behind the news. When you understand the story, the fact become much more easier to remember. And that's exactly what we'll do every Friday here on Bright Minds. We'll take the important news, remove the complicated language, and understand it together. If you find this useful, share it with someone who is preparing for competitive exams. And I'll see you next Friday with another week's important current affairs. Until then, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep your mind bright. Jai Hind.